Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and with that, we are back in the lobby bar for the week of March the 31st, 2025. Brian and Michaela here with you. And Michaela, I was thinking about what cocktail we should do here to round out the month of March. Right, we're getting into spring, so spring is in the air, pollen is in the air. So I apologize if I sound like absolute trash because that is how my my nose feels right now, for sure. But how are you doing? How are you dealing with all of the yellow pollen we have in this part of the world? Did you experience that in Texas, or is that a North Carolina, South
Oh
Carolina
no.
thing?
No, that is a Carolina thing. We experience in Texas, it's like 103 already or something there. That's
All
that's
right.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like pollen can't live in that kind of humidity, I don't think, in that heat. I don't know.
Nothing
Um,
is meant to live in that kind of humidity, I don't think.
It is strange because I used to get allergies, probably like these big allergic reactions where I'd be like sniffly and gross for, you know, a week at a time. That would happen like 3 or 4 times a year. And then I moved to the Carolinas and it doesn't happen, probably because I'm not allergic to whatever is in the air, except
Mm.
this week. Because this week I feel like I sound like Kathleen Turner. And maybe that's not true. I don't know. I mean, you sound fine to me, Brian,
No.
but like we know our bodies, right?
Who
And
doesn't
I'm
want to
like,
sound like Kathleen Turner?
that's
So,
right. That's right. I loved Roger. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's everything is green. Like swimming pools look like moats. It's real weird.
yeah.
I'm really hoping that this flies by quickly. Usually though, it lasts until May, so buckle in, you know?
Buckle in out there, kids. Yeah, that's right. So I'm dealing with that. And one of the ways you can deal with your seasonal allergies is, of course, by having some local honey. That's a good idea. That's supposed to help ease
Yeah.
the allergens out there. And a couple weeks ago, when we were talking about Mickey 17, we made a honey syrup, right? We made it with that Earl Grey tea, right? So we have an
Yeah.
Earl Grey honey syrup. And I still have some of that left because it was really good and I wanted to play around with it a little bit. So I said, what can I use this for? And today on the lobby bar, I thought we could try our hand at making an Arnold Palmer whiskey sour. Now, if you don't know what an Arnold Palmer is out there, it's basically just equal parts, roughly, of lemonade and iced tea, right? It's a perfect like summer cocktail. Very popular. You can get them like canned now. They have like alcoholic Arnold Palmers, all sorts of things. But this is going to be, kind of a riff on that, but in whiskey sour form. And whiskey sour is something that has its roots basically in Drink the Movies. Well, it doesn't have its roots in and Drink the Movies, but we have our roots in the whiskey sours because we talked about them at length way back in episode 16 when we did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And just like Rick Dalton, we tried our hand at having a couple of those. Do you remember the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood whiskey sour flight that we did, Michaela?
Oh, I absolutely do. Look, we both thought, I think at that time, we both thought that that was going to win Best Picture. I remember talking about the
Mm-hmm.
movie. I remember talking about we did this flight where it was like, look, we're going to do like the real bougie, like super complicated. And it wasn't even that complicated, but it was like 3 levels of whiskey sour. So, like, if you had sour mix and like, a bottle of Seagram's versus, or,
Yeah,
oh, what was that whiskey that we used
that was
that we
Wild
did for
Turkey, is what we
Saturday?
did. Yeah.
It was it
Oh,
Wild Turkey? Okay. But for
oh
like,
no,
but
that was Seagram 7. Yeah.
that's Seagram 7. Like if you like the worst, like it was a good, better, best, right? Like the worst, then a step up above that. And then like if you were gonna do like a real whiskey sour with egg white and stuff. And then we rated them as to, which was good. I love that episode. I was real proud of that. I felt like Drink the Movies really turned a corner there. We were doing some cool stuff. We talked about a really
Yeah,
cool movie in a neat way. And I fell in love with the whiskey sour during that. So now I order them a lot. I
that's right.
make them a lot.
The secret to our success was just having three cocktails for an episode instead of just one. That
Right.
was really
See
what
what
did it. But
happens.
but we did learn, yeah, we learned some things about the whiskey sour, and the most important thing about a whiskey sour is that it has an egg white in it. And at least in our eyes, maybe that's not the most important, but it does play a pretty critical role in making that cocktail, more elevated, right, than just some whiskey and some sour mix, right? It truly
For
turns it
sure.
into something special. And today we're doing an Arnold Palmer whiskey sour. So that's what we're going to do. So into a shaker tin goes 1.5 ounces of bourbon, your bourbon of choice there, 1.5 ounces of that. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and then I'm using 3/4 of an ounce of that honey Earl Grey tea syrup that we made just a couple weeks ago. If you don't have that, feel free to just substitute some regular honey syrup in there because I want this one to have a little bit of a honey slant today. So 3/4 of an ounce of that, and then one egg white. Go ahead and give that a shake. You can do a dry shake for, I don't know, about 10 seconds, and then go ahead and throw some ice in there, shake it again, and then you're going to strain it into like you could do it into a rocks glass over ice if you want something ice cold. But I like to do mine neat, kind of in a coupe glass. It just looks a little more lovely. You can see the separation of that layer there of the foam on top. You can sip and enjoy, and hopefully that will cure you of what ails you this time of year as the pollen starts to bloom
Right.
and blow around. What do you think about using this tea syrup here in a whiskey sour? Michaela, we're on the record as saying that tea is garbage,
Yep.
but in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
instance, it's okay.
In this instance, it's okay. And I really think the honey makes it. I don't know. I really think that this is kind of a real special simple syrup to make because it is kind of different. It definitely tastes it or has the tea flavor notes to it, but it's sweet, so it's not I don't know. It doesn't taste like a tea leaf, and that's the problem with like any sort of iced tea for me. I do not like it because I feel like I'm eating a tea leaf. I don't know. I don't like it. But this is pretty good. So I'm actually really excited to try this because it's got everything that I love. I love the creaminess of the egg white. It's gonna have the citrus kind of tartness with the lemon juice. Use real lemon juice if you can. And then, your bourbon of choice. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. One thing I will say though, you say put it in a coupe glass. If you're going to do that on the golf course, make sure that it's a plastic one.
True.
Because, you don't want to get, that looks that a golf ball plus a coupe glass is probably bad news.
Probably bad news. It'll fall over in your golf cart for sure. So yeah, go ahead and mix one of those up. Send us pictures. You can check out pictures of ours on the social media. But for now, Michaela, let's go ahead and turn our attention to movies. Box office this weekend, we had A Working Man, the new Jason Statham film, comes in top place with $15.2 million, followed by Snow White, The Chosen Last Supper, Woman in the Yard, and Death of a Unicorn. So Snow White hanging in tight there. It almost clawed its way back into first place with a very strong Sunday showing. But the rest of those are new releases. Let's talk about A Working Man first because it took top prize here. So it's Jason Statham. Basically, he was some sort of, I don't know, operative kind of thing, and he leaves that to go do a different job. And then, of course, he gets pressed back into service. Basically, if you've seen a Jason Statham film over the last, I don't know, 25 years, you've probably seen this one before. But, sometimes it's just a lot of fun to watch a Jason Statham beat some guys up.
Oh yeah, like yeah, I mean, did you watch The Beekeeper or I think it's The Beekeeper or not The Bee
Yeah.
Charmer? That would be
The yeah
so
the bee man. I don't know
The
what
Bee
it's called.
Man. Yeah,
The
yeah,
beekeeper.
but
There's a second one. They're making a second one of that.
that
Of course
that's
they are.
that's great. That's awesome. Um, I mean, look, it's going to be good. He's usually not a bad guy. Like he's only played a bad guy in a handful of films. Um, so I don't know much about this, but I think I know enough to know that it's going to have some gratuitous violence. It's going to be very like it's going to have a lot of sexy action in it, like crazy handwork because that's what he's kind of known for. He's going to talk in his little accent. It's going to be great. Like it's going to be mindless, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at
That
all.
that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So you can go check that out. Like I said, we got a couple of other new releases here this week. The Chosen Last Supper, which I think is like a mini series that they're just putting into theaters, but
So
$11 million. So good on you there.
yeah, so The Chosen is this series. It's a biblical series. I have some friends who have actually recommended it. Whether or not you are, a super religious person, it's like based on the books of the Bible. So if you have like any sort of interest in theology at all, it's actually really cool. I have seen a ton of memes about it, which makes me really happy because it's talking about like if Jesus was real, like what he would actually do versus what people who are saying they're representatives of
Mm,
Jesus are doing today. And I love
mm.
that. But this series has been out for a while, and it's all kind of built up to this actual theatrical event that's happening. So if you're into that, go check it out. The people that I have talked to that were into it and really interested in it said it's really well done. I have not seen it yet, so I cannot confirm nor deny. But I think, go check it out. How
Go
hard,
check it out. Yeah, go check it
Yeah.
out. So we also have The Woman in the Yard and The Death of a Unicorn. The Woman in the Yard is a like a supernatural horror thing coming out there from Blumhouse Pictures. That one's streaming PG-13, and Death of a Unicorn, which kind of sounds interesting. It's an A24 thing. It looks like a creature, like dark fantasy horror kind of a thing. It stars Jenna Ortega and what appears to be some sort of scary looking unicorn. Also, Paul Rudd is there to do his Paul Rudd stuff, I suppose. So that's coming out as well. So you can check that out. Of those that are out right now, Death of a Unicorn probably is the most interesting of those to me to see, but maybe I'll throw a Working Man on someday in the background to just, hear Jason Statham's voice there as he's cruising around, beating up the bad guys. Michaela, we have a couple of things coming out this week. First, to your TV screen. Nothing like super new and notable that I could find, anyways. Maybe you have some input here, but we have Queer, a film that came out last year. It stars Daniel Craig. Had a lot of Oscar buzz about it, but never saw it. And then when it didn't get any nominations, I wasn't so inclined to go see it. But now that it is available to stream on Max, I'm probably going to watch that. We also have Mufasa has come to Disney Plus here, so you can check both of those out. And then as far as box office goes, next week the number one film will be a Minecraft movie. So we're going to be talking about that on the podcast at length. So we don't need to talk about that in particular, Michaela. But any interest in seeing Queer now that that's more easily available to us, or anything else on your horizon?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because Queer did get a lot of Oscar buzz, and I love Daniel Craig. Apparently he was like tagged to be shortlisted for Oscar nomination for that. I've seen I know a lot of people who've seen this, and it's gotten kind of mixed reviews. But I'm actually super excited to see it. During the Oscar time, anybody that recommends any movie, I'm like, yeah, I'll deal with it in April because
Right. Yeah.
I'm busy watching 65 Oscar movies.
I'll take Zyrtec and watch watch Oscar
and that's what I'm gonna
shortlist
do.
films. Yeah,
That's right. So I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be an experience, I think. And
absolutely.
then Mufasa, I actually am super excited to revisit Mufasa, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Mufasa so far has been my favorite like live action animal like animated remake.
Mm-hmm.
That was animal driven. Does that make sense? So like they did the Jungle
Yes.
Book, they
Right.
did the
Mm.
Lion King. I loved Mufasa out of all of them so much. It's really grown on me. Like I liked it when I left the theater, and now when I think about it, I'm like, I can't wait to watch it again, which is weird for me to say because I really didn't think I was going to like it. I'm really glad that I'm allowing myself to be open-minded about it. But yeah, so I'm super excited to go back and revisit it.
Well, there you go. That one's going to look and sound pretty good on your home theater there at the house too. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Last week on the podcast, we talked about Hoosiers. That was a really great chat about a very good film. Starring late Gene Hackman there. Loved chatting about that one. And then this week we have a film coming up that you're familiar with. I have never seen, but that is Zodiac, the David Fincher film. We're going to be chatting about that one here on the podcast show this week. So looking forward to that. And then over on Patreon, we have some stuff going on too. We released our bonus episode for the month of March, Black Bag, last week. So that was a really fun time and a really good spy film. If that's still showing in your theater, go ahead and check that out before it makes its way out. And we also did our Patreon Hangouts. It was a super fun Hangouts that we did this week with our patrons out there. And shout out to Matt, who is our newest Red Carpet Club patron out there. So thank you so much. Those Hangouts are a lot of fun. We do a cocktail Hangouts and we do a movie Hangout. And we talk about all the things we've been drinking, get some feedback from the patrons out there, see what they've been up to, and check out the movies for the upcoming month. We planned out some things for April, so hopefully April is going to be a lot of fun come movie time for all of us. Then also pay attention to your feeds for Drink the Video Games. That new episode drops this Wednesday. Going to be talking about the seventh guest, so you can check that out. Michaela swings by to help me mix up a skeleton key cocktail. That is a good time, so check that out wherever you're listening to this or on YouTube. So, Michaela, with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's Lobby Bar. I have a whiskey sour to make, and hopefully it alleviates me of some of this, pressure that's in my head at the moment. And we'll talk to everyone next time in the Lobby Bar.